Hello and welcome to the SAT 123 prep program. Today we're going to be getting familiar with the SAT math section so that when you take your first SAT practice test, you're not shocked. So the first thing that we have to understand is that the SAT tends to ask the same types of questions over and over again, or at least the same concepts. And you begin to realize after taking a few that there's only a certain amount of ways that they can ask the same type of question. So theoretically, if you learn every type of question that they ask and understand how they ask it and how they try to trick you, theoretically you should be able to get a perfect score. So a way that we can study the types of questions they ask for is on their website. So the SAT separates their topics into 4 groups, and the first one is Heart of Algebra. Then there's Problem Solving and Data Analysis, Passport to Advanced Math, and additional math topics. So the most important one I would say is the Heart of Algebra, because they always ask 19 questions and it makes up for 33% of your entire math grade. Then it's followed by Problem Solving at 29% and Passport to Advanced Math, which is at 28%. And then there's additional math topics, which is at 10%. So for all 4 of these topics, we're going to have individual videos covering all of the topics within these categories, and we will explain how to approach them and how to not get tricked by the many ways that they many traps that they set up for you. So you have to understand that the layout is that on the third section, the no calculator section, you have 20 questions in 25 minutes, while you have 38 questions in 55 minutes on the 4th section. This means that you have around 1 minute and 15 seconds each question for the no calculator, and around 1 minute 30 per question on the calculator section. And while you do have that much time, I wouldn't recommend spending the full amount per question on every question, because on your average SAT, the beginning of each math section begins with easier problems that you should probably be able to breeze through. And you want to make sure that you have extra time left to go back, check your problems, and to actually do the later problems, which often tend to be more time consuming. On the SAT, there seems to be a trend that the last few questions before the grid response seem to take longer. So if you know you're running out of time, just move on, and you have a better chance finding an easier problem in the grid response than just staying stuck on that one question. Because there's been way too many times where the grid response questions were way easy, but just because I didn't have enough time to solve them, and I wasted all my time on previous questions that I didn't even know how to do, I lost a lot of points. So that's a useful tip.
Another thing to know is that whenever answering any gridded response questions, to always either keep your answer to the left or to the right, never in the middle. And another thing to keep in mind is the fact that the SAT always looks for the simplest form and doesn't have any negative answers. I'm going to be leaving a link to SAT 5 in the description, just in case you want to look over what types of questions there are and what topics they cover. It'll be there.
So now that you're a little bit more familiar with the Math SAT section, please go check out my 4 videos on the 4 different types of categories that the SAT asks on, and start studying because you have an SAT to take.